welcome to Phuket News TV. Well, the sky's falling in, the world's about to end, and Phuket's finished. If you listen to all the naysayers, everyone's saying this is the worst low season ever. Well, is that actually the case? One man will actually know. It's Bill Barnett from C9 Hotel Works. Bill, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you for having me, Tim.
Is the world about to finish?
I hope not. I'm certainly not as long as we're here in Phuket. I think, mainly what you're talking about, certainly every high season goes high and every low season weekend, the rain starts coming and people start complaining, and this is a natural phenomenon.
Yeah. Is it really as quiet as people say, or what do the numbers say?
We rely on the numbers, and that has to be the way to go. In terms of January through May figures, year-to-date figures, there was 3% growth through Phuket International Airport. So certainly there is traffic increases over the same period in 2014. So again, we are seeing growth.
All right, so we are seeing growth, but it may be against a backdrop last year of fairly low numbers after the coup.
That's a point as well, but certainly, going into this year, we are seeing positive numbers, throughout the year again. And we are seeing also a defined increase in the Chinese market. We're seeing Chinese now account for 37% of the international traffic to Phuket. And much of the China business is going to come later in the year.
Let's talk about the Chinese. Are they still the main travellers to Phuket?
Again, at 37%, between the Chinese and the Russian market, that's nearly 50% of arrivals to Phuket from the international market. So it's a huge chunk of business there.
So if the Chinese and the Russians weren't coming, we'd be sunk.
We wouldn't be sunk. We wouldn't be sunk necessarily. Again, everybody's watching China. That's the buzz of the day. Forget the Grexit, forget about the other things. MERS out there as well, but we're looking at the Chinese certainly with interest because that could be a real disruptive event.
Well, we've got a lot of disruptive events in the last 12 months, but we've got the stock market tanking in China at the moment, and that's probably going to affect the people that are coming here, the middle class.
It's also going to affect a broader market, certainly. 80% of retail equity investors in China certainly come from the small individuals. These are people who would be traveling as well. So without a doubt, there's going to be not only will Phuket be hit, but certainly other parts of the world as well. But yet, we're in unknown territory as well. I mean, today, if we look at Bali, there's a volcano going off in nearby Java. So again, the Bali airport's closing as well. So again, we're in the year of disruptive events.
But there's always disruptive events, really. I mean, we're in the middle of one of the busiest parts of the world, one of the fastest growing parts of the world, where the governments aren't sort of long-term stable. We're always going to have a lot of this, what you call disruption.
I think more so now that we're dealing with volume, because whenever there's volume, again, you have a slight glitch and, the numbers become much more exasperated in the marketplace. But yeah. I think something we know about Phuket also, when people say the hotels are more empty, there are more hotel rooms. There's more of these unlicensed accommodation or the growth of non-traditional condo hotels, this type of product. You have people flying through. And the geographic spread of people, they're staying less days as well, so that's a key demand. So you may have more people arriving at the airport, but they're staying less time.
Let's talk about the change in the hotel mix here on the island. I mean, there's not as many of these grand five, or what sometimes we describe them as even 6-star resorts. And we're seeing the growth of these sort of middle-priced condos, but they're not necessarily on a magnificent beach overlooking the Andaman Sea. Some of them are in the middle of town.
And it's a reality also of the commercial landscape out there, these hotel branded residences. And again, when you look at condominiums, you're seeing guaranteed returns. That's what's driving the market as well. But also the profile of the traveler to Phuket is changing to a mass demographic. So certainly that is a cause for concern in the longer term.
Bill, when you see one of those condo ads and it says guaranteed return of X amount, are you saying to yourself, gee, they're building that into my buying price, so I'm actually paying more than this thing is actually worth?
I think it certainly raises our ears, because when we look at this type of concern also, in terms of condominiums, it's very difficult for a condominium project, or if they even can, get a hotel license. So when people are being promised guaranteed returns, the question is, what's the fundamental there? Yeah. And how are they going to get these returns if it's an unlicensed accommodation? So I think that's going to come under greater scrutiny by the government, certainly going forward.
Now, when you look at the numbers, say, over the past 6 months, you're talking about the Chinese and the Russians still filling up most of the tourism needs, but what other sort of numbers are you seeing that are maybe surprising or maybe worth an alert?
I think something is certainly with the changes at the beach, everyone was saying the Europeans are no longer coming. That's absolutely not true. European numbers from Western Europe were up 8% for the first 5 months of the year. So by the numbers, again, Europe continues to be growing. France was a big mover. France grew, I think, about 34% as well. We are seeing other regional markets, though, as well, fuel growth, in double digits. Hong Kong is one. India is another one. So we are seeing more regional. But these are patterns which are going throughout the world as well. Phuket's not different than the world.
Yes.
Phuket is a special place, but it's not very special in terms of the whole region. What's happening here is happening in other destinations as well.
So as the NCPO were madly clearing the beaches and taking off the illegal commercial activity, activity from the beaches, and all those people were jumping online saying, I'm never coming to Phuket again. Well,
Not
they
true.
are.
No, I mean, by the numbers, they are coming. And again, the world you have to look back and, I think currency is a much more volatile game changer. With Australia, certainly. We've seen Australia down 7%, this year as well. Certainly, currency is coming into play there as well. People are wondering about the euro as well. So I think the euro is a much more dynamic driver of demand than, say, the beach mats on Patong Beach.
All right. Well, this is the man who knows. Bill, thank you very much for speaking to us and bringing us up to date with the numbers. The numbers don't lie.
We hope not, and the world's not ended. Thanks, Tim.
Bill Barnett there from C9hotelworks.com. Thanks for joining us on Phuket News TV.
We're surrounded by water, so teach kids the most important survival skill for their confidence and for their safety. Manta Kids is the swimming academy for babies and toddlers from 4 months to 6 years, and Manta Kids is the first Thailand registered school with Swim Australia. All the levels and all the skills your children will learn, the vital survival skills to be safe and enjoy their time around the water. Manta Kids, centrally located at Dara Hotel. Facebook.com/Manta Kids Phuket. Book now for a free trial class.